Practice in front of that mirror, girl, you twerking it on the dance floor. Practice in front of that mirror, girl, you twerking it on the practice in front of that mirror, girl, you twerking it on the dance floor. Practice in front of that mirror, girl, you twerking it on the floor. Twerking it on the dance floor, twerking it on the dance floor, twerking it on the dance floor, twerking it on the...
Hey, what's up guys? So I've been asked to do a video a few times now on reverse dieting, and I've written about this extensively in the past, and I'll put a link to a post that I wrote for the Strength Guys on their Facebook page below, and hopefully that will soon be up on the Strength Guys blog website, so stay tuned for that. So first of all, I just want to make it clear what I mean by reverse dieting. What I don't mean is you're already in your off season and you're just slowly adding in calories to support your increasing training intensity or volume or whatever, which I think is a good idea. Instead, what I mean by reverse dieting is how it's typically used within the bodybuilding community, and that is to mean that after your bodybuilding competition, you're very conservative with your calorie increases and you keep yourself in a very moderate surplus to maintenance state for an extended period of time. And the basic rationale behind this is that we'll slowly build up our metabolism while keeping fat gain at bay in the post-show period. And while this sounds like a very good idea in theory, I think it does fail to take some practical things into consideration. It's similar to the idea of spiking insulin post-workout. In theory, it does make sense, but things don't always pan out in the real world as they do on paper. So just last year, a team of researchers performed a 12-month case study where they evaluated a drug-free bodybuilder for a whole bunch of physiological parameters, including his tested 1-rep max strength, his body composition, and blood concentrations of a whole bunch of different hormones. And what they found was two hormones, specifically ghrelin and cortisol, went up throughout his diet for his contest, and everything else went down. So testosterone, thyroid hormones, insulin, and leptin went way down throughout the course of his prep. And this was where his contest was, and then after this you'll see that the hormones sort of re-equilibrated back to their normal levels, for the most part. Now, it's worth noting that cortisol and ghrelin, from a bodybuilding standpoint, you want to be low. And they went up, and the hormones that you would want to be high, testosterone, thyroid hormones, leptin, insulin, they went way down. So essentially what this study showed us was that, and this shouldn't really be surprising, but doing a contest prep diet can really do bad things for your hormonal profile as a bodybuilder. And as long as research is limited investigating the direct effect of post-show reverse dieting on this hormonal profile, we have to use things like logic and intuition to draw conclusions about the reverse dieting process. And it seems to me that it would be really unlikely that the best way to restore those hormones to their normal levels is by prolonging the dieting period by keeping the dieter in a only very slight surplus or a maintenance state, or even a deficit in some cases, for as long as is possible while keeping fat gain at bay. Now, if the goal of the post-show period is to maintain a certain level of leanness for as long as is possible, then reverse dieting definitely has the success stories to support this. But in the absence of any immediately upcoming competition, I can't help but question whether limiting fat gain at the expense of improving recovery and adding lean mass should be high on the list of priorities in the post-show period. Now, just to confirm the fact that research is in fact lacking on this topic, I'll quote Lane Norton in his 2014 literature review on metabolic adaptation, where he notes, "While anecdotal reports of successful reverse dieting have led to an increase in its popularity, research is needed to evaluate its efficacy. And more research is needed to verify the efficacy of periodic refeeding and reverse dieting, in supporting prolonged weight reduction and attenuating post-diet fat accretion. So in the absence of this evidence, I think we would be better off taking a more moderate approach to this situation. Not because the moderate approach is always better, but just because it seems to make the most sense to me. And I've made the analogy in the past comparing entering one's off-season to getting into a pool. Rather than belly flopping into the deep end or slowly tiptoeing your way around the pool, only dipping your feet in once in a while, I would rather see competitors slowly dip their way into the pool and then just get on with their swim. And in a similar vein, it would make more sense to me to bring calories back up to maintenance right after the show for a few weeks, and then from there, start increasing your calories from there. And in my experience, this seems to be the most practical way to decrease psychological turmoil while increasing recovery in the post-show period. And I'll just finish by saying that the associated gain in body fat should be seen as a necessary inevitability towards improving recovery and increasing lean mass, rather than an evil to be avoided at all costs. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching this video. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks.